Okay, welcome to the channel, everybody. I cannot wait to show you some of the stuff I've got today, especially this first video. Be patient. It starts a little slow and it's got some music, but there's a payoff in the end that you're going to love. So check this out. I'm just going to be quiet. We're going to let this one play.
Are you seeking help? I never knew you were someone waiting for me. We let you can bring back darling. I don't want it. What you are. Darling, kiss me slow. Your eyes so lion. And your eyes so
So you're aware, like you knew about this whole thing and you didn't tell me.
you'll be so young. When you said you loved so bad, what was going underneath my breath? Oh, tell me yes. I don't have to do that. I don't have to do that. I don't have to kneel down.
No, it's looking fire. Please. I'm watching. Please.
I don't have to kneel down. I don't have to kneel down.
Go on your knees.
Why are you raising your voice? This is just a proposal. Baby, stop making a sound.
I'm not doing it. Why don't you just go down on your knees like other men do? What's your problem?
Why are you shouting? You're embarrassing me. Why in public? How can you tell me that? How will you tell me to kneel down?
Ready? You know where to find
They
it.
come at them. No, what's wrong with you? Who's here? What's wrong?
Wait.
I watched that a couple of times. I just love that. I could barely sleep. I wanted to play this one so badly. It's just, he wouldn't kneel. She needed him to kneel. And the flowers and the song, and everybody videotaping it, which it's just, I don't think that's such a great idea. It's just, this guy must have had some idea of his girlfriend's volatile nature. And she needed him to kneel, and he wasn't going to kneel. And then, boom. Yeah, I mean, what is with that kneeling anyways? What is that about? You know? But seriously. Yeah, yeah, it's some kind of tradition and, it's kind of funny. The guy gets down and, for two mature people, yeah, I think, it's fine. But I don't know, what does it say something? I'm kneeling before you, you know? Maybe kneel to God, but I really don't have a problem with it. I'm not, marriage isn't my thing, but holy cow, that one thing, kneeling, and then now it's over. It wouldn't kneel, but yeah, these things happen for a reason, right? They save you a lot of trouble. Okay, he didn't go into that, thinking, she wasn't going to be like this, or she has displayed these tendencies many, many times. Maybe people think he's stubborn because he didn't want to kneel. But Harry, you're talking about getting married and spending your life together. That's what you're talking about. Well, who cares if you're kneeling or standing and why both of them? They should both kneel. I don't know, but that was crazy. I love the setup and the beautiful song, and he's got the "I love you," and everyone's videotaping it. Now the whole world is watching this. It's like, yeah, yeah. You didn't recognize that she's a little bit spoiled before you proposed? You knew this was coming. You're both really stubborn. Yeah. Let's see what people have to say in the comments. Gentlemen, no matter how much you think it's a good idea, never propose in front of anyone, not friends, family, or strangers. Yeah, that's really true. It's kind of a private thing, right? And those people get married in the stadium, like they play it on the Megatron. He asked her to marry him. She said no, and he lived happily ever after. I love happy endings. Nice. Dude, that woman will never give you peace and respect. How do you make a woman miserable? Give her everything she ever thought she wanted. Yeah. She's not going to be satisfied with she's not going to be satisfied with anything. It really, or he's not. Her true colors came out before marriage. How do you make a woman? Yes, we already saw that. Okay.
So apparently,
I keep doing the wrong thing. All right, let's scroll over here. Back in my day, a wedding proposal was a private affair between two people, not a public shaming spectacle. Yeah. Holy crap, rejected for not kneeling. He saved himself a lifetime of misery. Yeah. The level of ignorance, ingratitude, and disrespect are deplorable. He definitely dodged a cannonball. Bang, bang, bang. Yeah. Whoa. I don't know. I love that one. That was kind of fun. All right, let's check out. This one was really interesting. This is the goat cheese incident. And she made a video about it so we could all see. I thought there's some interesting stuff about this one. Let's play a little and let's see what she has to say.
So I admitted something to my husband today, which is likely something that your wife is thinking too, or has thought at least once in your marriage. Admitting this to my husband was kind of unwise because I like to keep my hoo-hoo banana stuff inside, but whatever, it kind of came out. I don't know why goat cheese gets packaged in those logs, so I was making my breakfast sandwich and I was trying to get the goat cheese out to like put onto the sourdough toast. It was like unwieldy and messy and stuff was flying all over the place and some fell on the floor. And for me, the fact that this goat cheese packaging was so terrible was my husband's fault. And then the fact that it fell on the floor, in my mind, at that exact moment, was my husband's fault.
This is what I call the proximity blame. I'm a woman and I have a feeling and an emotion. I don't, really fully form where it is or what it's about, but you're next to me. So it must be your fault. It's a proximity blame. You're around. Call the divorce attorney. I don't feel 100% happy all the time. I need to find myself, whatever that is, and it's your fault. Because I see you most of the time, and I'm, you got to call in and check and text me all day long. So it's got to be you, and I got to be dissatisfied with you and my relationship. Gentlemen, you're around your wives and girlfriends way too much. You're communicating way too much. You're texting way too much. They're going to blame you. You're around a lot and you're getting blamed. Think of man millions of years ago. He had to go out and hunt with all the other men. They get some spears and they go hunt woolly mammoth and say some big game. You're not around your wife all week. She's back at the village doing her part in helping everybody to survive and raising kids and hunting and gathering. Today is the morning text, an evening text. I'm at the store. I'll pick you up with something. This and that, and let's do this tonight. We're watching Netflix together tonight. We're doing this, and you way too much togetherness. Really, It's way too much.
I made a little sound. I made a little sound, but it fell on the ground that brought my husband's attention to the fact that that cheese fell on the ground and that somehow it was his fault.
Yeah. Proximity move. I had a girlfriend who would sigh. She'd just be at her computer working and she was generally happy, but that's how passive aggressively she would express herself in her, I don't know, disappointment in something or NUI, whatever it was. I'd just be doing something in another room. I hear, yeah. In case you were happy there, John, in the other room, here's a nice sigh. I go, what are you sighing about? Oh, nothing. She couldn't articulate it. She just wanted to bring me down wherever I was. I'm around this person way too much.
I mean, a rational person would know that if they spilt cheese on the floor, it is really their fault. I don't think that I am completely alone in this idea of blaming someone else for things that I have done.
Oh, trust me, this is something that men are fully aware of because they have experienced the lack of accountability from plenty of women. Honestly, men that are in a relationship.
Thank you, Emily. Yeah, what is up with that? Let me just tell you, when I was a kid, our teachers taught us how to apologize and take responsibility, and my parents did too. Now, I assumed everybody's parents did that, but no, they didn't. But they said, okay, you did something wrong. Go to the person who you wronged and say, hey, that thing I did, and you say what you did. You say, I'm sorry. And then maybe you say, will you forgive me? And they will most likely say yes. And you shake hands and you continue on with life. And amazingly enough, that works perfectly. That's how I ended up with lifelong friends. It's just, instead of going down with a sinking ship, we would just say, hey, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Paul. I'm sorry, Steve. I didn't mean to do that, but I'm really sorry. And they stick your hand out. We would shake hands. They'd say, yeah, it's okay. And we'd shake hands and we'd go right back out to the playground and play. We're best buds instantly. It took like 30 seconds. And then, tell me in the comments if this has happened to you. You're going out with someone for 2-3 years. They never do anything wrong. They never apologize for anything. They just let that decay and rust and all those awful feelings they hold on to them and they let it build up and bring it up over and over again. And just like, can never admit they're wrong. It's like, just say, hey, I'm sorry. 2 words. A hug, kiss, shake hands. And it's all okay. We're all human. And you think if you apologize, you'll set a precedent and they'll apologize. They'll catch on. No. That's the thing you did wrong that they're going to bring up over and over and over. Again. Yeah. Like, what is that? Just say you're sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, you said you're sorry? I'm going to hold that against you for the rest of your life. You've shown weakness. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Maybe Emily knows.
Relationship or aren't even in a relationship, they're single, this is one of their worst fears. Because who wants to be blamed for everything wrong in somebody else's life? Men do absolutely like fixing things. Like, I talk about that pretty frequently, but he can't fix everything. And it's going to be super frustrating if you think that a man should fix absolutely everything in your life and that you should never have any sort of discomfort. And when you do have a discomfort or frustration, it's all his fault. Now, for this woman in particular, kudos to her for recognizing it. Now,
Look, divorce attorneys would go out of business if someone taught women those 2 words and to mean it just like I just said there. And ladies, I know you got guys who aren't apologizing too. I'm sure there's tons that are guilty of this. I know people like that. So this isn't exclusive to one gender. But I've experienced this. I've watched this happen and you see it. How about those 2 people in that last video? The guy wouldn't kneel. Is she going to say, yeah, I'm sorry. Kneeling's no big deal. I love you. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. No. Is he going to say, "Oh yeah, that's kind of a tradition. I should have kneeled. I didn't mean to make a big deal about that. I'm sorry. Will you forgive me?" No. They're gonna end up not together or bringing this up. If they got married, they're gonna bring this up for the rest of their lives, right? S- So immature. It's crazy.
Think she just needs to take it a step further and really take that accountability, apologize to her husband, and move forward with methods to completely avoid this from happening again.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck with that. Let's see what some people say in the comments. Notice how she didn't mention any apology. This isn't a reflection of one's actions. It's just an acknowledgement that she's insane. If a man kept a woman in a state of constant blame and oppression, people would call it an abusive relationship. Yeah, they would. We get blamed for bad dreams, their mistakes, bad weather, just because she realizes this doesn't mean she'll take accountability for it. This reminds me, there was a viral video going around of this Muslim couple, and the gentleman had a dream. And I think in the dream he was with another woman, and I guess he confessed it to his wife. So they're sitting there, and he's up by "I'm very sorry. In my dream, I was with another woman, and I want to apologize to my wife." And she's sitting right next to him, and she's like, "Yeah, he's very sorry. He was with that woman in his dream." It is hysterical. Look it up. I'm sure it's still floating around out there. It's totally worth it. The fact that women are this way kills so much love. Yeah, I mean, it is the destroyer of marriage. Hey, mom and dad out there, anybody listening to this with kids, instead of spoiling the crap out of your daughter and being daddy's little girl, teach her this. And mom too, teach her. Teach her to say she's sorry. Teach her to stick her hand out and shake and really mean it, and teach her to let it go. You want her to be happy in her adult life? You want her to have a good relationship with a man? You want her marriage to last? Teach her this. Stop covering her ears with headphones and iPads every time you go out to dinner. Take that stuff away and talk to them and teach them this stuff. It's really simple, but it's like the most important thing in the world. It is frustrating dealing with someone who can never admit they're wrong. You're dating, someone with the emotional maturity of a peanut. It's rough. And I don't know, this woman, I'm glad she could own up to like, hey, this is something I do and I know other women do. Yeah, it's the proximity blame, man. The proximity blame is tough. Let's go. We got one more. And this one was really good. We're showing ones that people aren't at the best, kind of doing, kind of recognizing themselves. And then we have this woman. Wait for this, because this will renew your faith in love and people and men and women and families. Check this out.
This wife says her number one piece of advice for single women is to not marry a bum. Look what her husband does after working night shift.
Don't marry a bum. Don't marry a bum. And let me just, this morning I've had a really hard morning. It's only 7:57 a.m. and my kids have just been crying and they're really upset. And I felt really overwhelmed and like I was about to start hyperventilating, which
You think she's going to rip the guy a new a-hole, but check this out.
I don't even do. And I was just super overwhelmed. Husband walks in the door off a night shift, okay? Off a night shift. It is 7:57 in the morning. He left our house at 5, okay? And he got inside, saw what was going on, saw that I was upset, that I was not doing well. And instead of being like, love you guys, give me a kiss and going upstairs to sleeping, which he has the right to do. He has worked all night. No, instead he says, okay, guys, let's go for a walk. And now we are currently walking to a breakfast place to go eat some breakfast, to help everybody reset, and then we'll go home and he'll go to bed. But that kind of stuff is just like, makes me want to cry because he's been working all night long, but he can see that I'm not doing well and that our kids aren't doing well, that everyone is kind of in a emotional state this morning. And instead of going to sleep, he's helping everyone regulate before going to sleep. And that is just so, just don't marry a bum, okay? Don't do it, because there are good men out there and they work really hard for their families. And yeah.
What I see is a man who absolutely loves being a husband and a father. He loves it. The longer the story went on, the more relief I had. This wife says her number one piece of advice.
Yeah, man, that's your woman. Look out for her. Do something nice. Take her out to breakfast. She's home with the kids, you know. Neither's easy. Kids can be rambunctious. He's working the night shift. It's so rough. You just have no idea. It's so rough. I used to work in a power plant, running a program in a power plant. We had shift workers and doing that. And I was getting calls in the middle of the night. It's nothing compared to these guys who got to do it. You know, these 10-hour shifts, you know, for multiple days. It's rough. And it's rough taking care of a bunch of kids. It can be a real challenge. And look, you know, it's so nice to see a mature couple. Like, she appreciated him. He didn't make a big deal about it. He's like, all right, everybody, let's go get some breakfast, get the kids some pancakes. Let's get out of the house. You've probably been in the house all the time. When you take a woman and you got a couple kids and you got to take them out to do stuff, you know, it's not easy. It's not easy. And it's nice to have a good partner like this dude who's, you know, stepping up to the plate. It's just so nice. It was it's really nice to hear a video of gratitude. Let's see what people say in the comments. Guys like that are everywhere. What's rare is the wife who notices and appreciates and honors her man. Yeah, you know, I got a large family and I'm not used to all this. A lot of the stuff we're seeing in these videos. My cousins, my nephews, my brothers, my uncles, my grandparents. I'm just surrounded by stand-up people who don't buy into the present culture and all this. I can't wash a dish unless you wash a dish, and I can't do laundry because, you know, you're putting yourself above me. And, you know, like, no one in my family is like that. We just don't behave it like that. And if someone needs help, you help them. You either open the door, you open the door. You know, they're tired with the kids. I'll take the kids. You know, I'll do that. You know, it's just like everybody just grow up a little. You know, make better choices of the people you choose to have children with, and get married to. Guy in the first video, you knew what you were getting yourself into, and still you went and did that. They might be married. Who knows? Be very careful. Realize who you're bringing into your family as well. Everyone's going to have to watch you suffer. Everyone's going to watch her, you know, with the kids, and those are your nephews and nieces, and you're the grandparent. You got to watch someone who's not up to the task, blaming and, you know, all despondent. I don't know who I am, and I'm mad at you about goat cheese, and let's get a divorce. You know, you're torturing your entire family with that kind of stuff, you know, and making those decisions. Don't make those decisions. If it's not working out, it's not working out. You don't get married. You don't get down on your knee. Nice to see a wife praising her husband on social media rather than condemning him. Yeah, it's so awesome to see gratitude instead of complaints. Now, this is really making everybody feel good. It made me feel good, and I want you to feel good the rest of your day. If this did make you feel good, give it a like, subscribe, and we're going to see everybody in the next one. Thank you.